this bottom button, so this is how I turned it on. This bottom button basically has all the control icons. So you go from flame to fan to light to back burner to ember light. Okay? So, so I can adjust my flame by 50%, so it goes from 40 down to about 20,000 BTUs. It'll adjust your flame rate accordingly. And then additionally, you can control your fan speed. So what the fan is doing is it's extracting more of the convective heat, so it improves the efficiency of the fireplace by about 3 to 4 percentage points. Okay, and the next thing is a down light, accent light. It's hard to tell in this light. It's glowing, and it mostly makes the logs brighten. Okay. The other nice thing about it is, like in the summertime, you can have the light on with no flame, so you can add some ambient light to the space. Then the next thing basically allows you to turn off the back section of the burner. Okay, so now you have your front that gets your BTUs and your flame down to as low as about 12,000 BTUs. So you're going from 40 all the way down to 12.
So that's kind of ambiance.
Right.
Like we're heated out, but we still want some glow.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the last thing is that little ember light.
Okay.
So you can turn that on and off.
Yeah.
Okay. And then additionally with the fireplace, you can also control it thermostatically. So this tells us it's 71 degrees in here right now. If I hit this, my thermostat is set for 77 degrees.
Okay.
And I can set it for whatever temperature I want.
Yeah.
Wherever you set this in the room then is where it's measuring the temperature, and it talks to the fireplace and turns it on and off based on the temperature that you want to maintain. Okay. And then on the thermostat, there's 2 thermostatic modes. So right now it says on. Yep. If I hit that thermostat button again, it says smart. So when it's in the smart thermostat mode, as it's approaching your set temperature, it will adjust the flame down automatically. Okay, so you get longer run time when you're running it in the smart thermostat mode. And then lastly, I'll turn the unit off here for a moment. So with this unit, you can operate it, as I said, with or without a standing pilot. Okay, so right now I know it's in the what they call IPI mode, or intermittent pilot, meaning no pilots running on the unit continuously, because there's just a blank screen with the temperature. If I hit this, so right now it says IPI. If I hit the up arrow, it'll switch over to CPI, which means continuous pilot. And when it's in continuous pilot, you'll see this little snowflake on the screen. The other clue is if you look in, you know where the pilot is, which is right in the center, you'll see that pilot going. Okay, but right now I know it's in the continuous pilot mode because it has that little snowflake. So that's really meant for what they call winter mode. Okay. So when we talked about the venting, there was
this is the era we live in now. We need this kind of footage.
So basically there's exhaust air and there's intake air. So if the unit's turned off and there's no pilot going, you're going to have, it's going to get real cold in that box. Yeah. So if it's 10 degrees outside, that 10-degree air is coming in that intake tube. And then when you introduce fire to a really cold box, you're going to get a lot of condensation. So much I've seen where you get frost on the inside of the glass. So that's why they have this mode for in the wintertime. That pilot's enough just to keep that box warm enough so that when you turn it on, you're not going to get, you might get a little bit of condensation, but not nearly as much.
So why would you ever turn CPI mode off?
Summertime, you don't want to feel the heat because that pilot generates about 4,500 BTUs. Okay, so there's going to be heat for that area. You'll notice it. Some people more so than others. Some rooms more so than others. But it's noticeable, and your air conditioner has to fight against that pilot. And then additionally, you're paying for that pilot running. So your utility bill will be $6 or $7 greater with that pilot running than it would be without it.
Is there anything like, because I used to have a gas and it just continuously
always
ran
had
the pilot.
That's how they traditionally work.
Okay. So if we ever have to like light the pilot, that's not
You
really
do it right
good
from the
because-
remote.
Okay, cool.
You don't have to do it yourself. Yep.
Is there a switch on the unit, or is it all?
Yep. So if you were if you lost your remote and needed to turn the unit on, if you pull this face off,
Yep.
easier said than done. So there's a little
Yep.
switch in
I
here
see.
to turn. Looks like we have our switches pulled off right now, but there's supposed to be a little switch right
Okay.
here. to turn.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Good.
Or you can call us.
Yeah. That might be easier.
You guys are up north? Really? How far away? 3 hours? Yeah, okay, that seems reasonable. You don't mind, do you?
Some of them have, like, I had one and the switch was just right
Yeah,
here,
that's
you
the
know.
standing pilot. So that was what they
Yeah.
call the millivolt system.
Okay,
So
okay.
on a millivolt system, that switch is basically powered off of the pilot.
Okay.
So on the pilot, boring, but on their pilot assembly, there's a thing called the thermopile or thermogenerator. So the heat from that pilot is enough to power that switch. To turn
Okay.
it on and off,
Okay. Cool.
which is a great way to do it, but today
It keeps it
people
running.
want
Yeah.
to be able to not have that.
You may think that this is boring, but Lauren likes to understand the way things work. So she's keeping up with
He's a
it.
kindred spirit. I think he knows.
Where were you living when you had that other unit?
Bloomington. Yeah.
So you had to know.
Yeah.
You had to know how it worked.
Yeah. Exactly.
And how to light it.
Yeah. If something ever went wrong. Oh, great.
Yeah, the government eventually probably will get rid of standing pilots.
Okay. That seems like a good idea.
Depends on your point of view.
Yeah.
If you're in a cabin up in the North Woods and you don't have power,
You want it all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Totally.
That's a good point.
Yep.